Welcome back, everyone. Time to do another comparison this time around between the iPhone 7 and the newly released iPhone 12. Now, both these phones are very different, but they both have numerical numbers in them, which is pretty much the main similar thing between them. The iPhone 12 costs $829 to pick up brand new. The iPhone 7 does not cost $829 anymore. This phone came out in 2016, and you can pick up a lot of these things for probably around $100 to like $120 to maybe even $150. So this one is definitely, way cheaper than the iPhone 12. But again, these two phones aren't the only ones available. There's a lot of phones in between them. But let's go and see how both these compare. Now I'll find the cheapest ones of both these, link them down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now side by side, you can kind of see that the iPhone 12 is a bigger phone, as I said before, in pretty much every single dimension. This phone has the same pretty much specs or just the same body size as something like an iPhone SE 2. This one obviously is like the iPhone 11. Now looking on the front of the iPhone 7, we have a 4.7-inch IPS panel, and it's not a bad panel at all. I always said it was actually pretty decent for like the actual type of phone it was at the time, and of course nowadays it doesn't really hold up that well. The panel itself isn't that bad, it's just everything surrounding the panel. You have a pretty big top bezel, pretty big bottom bezel. You have the home button though, which kind of makes sense for that bottom bezel, and other than that, I mean, it's a good panel for a 2016 phone. It doesn't really hold up anymore, but to make you guys feel better, the iPhone SE 2 that just came out that everyone kind of likes, that thing has pretty much the same exact front as this thing. So it's not extremely outdated since Apple's still kind of recycling some major parts of it. But you can definitely tell when you look at something like the iPhone 12, this phone definitely looks much better. You have a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, and it's definitely a better looking panel in my opinion. The viewing angles are great. Both phones are actually pretty decent in viewing angles. You have the flat sides on the iPhone 12 now too, which is really cool. So it makes it feel a little bit thinner in the hand, which is really awesome. And I think that's something that's really, really cool. So definitely for sure at the end of the day, the iPhone 12, in my opinion, is way better in terms of the front than the iPhone 7. In terms of the thickness, the iPhone 7 pretty much is almost kind of the same thickness as the iPhone 12. Not a crazy amount, difference, I would say. I think the iPhone 12 actually looks pretty good for the most part, but I think the iPhone 7 is the thinner device. Since the iPhone 12 is a little bit thicker, it's not really that big of a deal since you have a bigger battery and things like that in the iPhone 12. But I'll definitely say in terms of thickness, the iPhone 7 is a little bit thinner, but the iPhone 12 isn't far off either. And you can see on the iPhone 12, dual camera setup on the back, single camera setup on the iPhone 7, a glass back on the iPhone 12 that looks and feels really good. The iPhone 7 has that standard aluminum build, which again isn't a crazy big deal. They both feel and perform pretty well, but I think the iPhone 12 here is pretty much the clear winner. It definitely looks better in my opinion than the iPhone 7. The iPhone 7 doesn't look ugly, but the iPhone 12 definitely looks better. You're getting better IP certification on the iPhone 12, and you're getting pretty much more base storage model. This is 32 gigs, this is 64 gigs, so that's another big deal. And again, the iPhone 12 feels like the more premium device. The iPhone 7 is okay still too. Now, in terms of software, the iPhone 12, I mean, is totally going to outlast the iPhone 7 by a ton. The iPhone 7, started off in 2016. It's probably going to be getting iOS 15, as some people actually reported the other day. But the iPhone 12 is going to be lasting for so many years now. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Most people will probably end up updating their iPhone 12 before it even gets done with software. I mean, even when you look at the iPhone 7, how many people are still rocking the iPhone 7? I'm sure there's quite a few out there who are watching these videos. But I think as a whole, most people are already on an iPhone 10 or above on that like Face ID craze. And the iPhone 7 is still supported. I don't really see that many people using this phone. So that kind of goes to show that the iPhone 12 will definitely last, probably in my opinion, way longer than the iPhone 7. Now I'll go ahead and do a speed comparison between these two phones too. The iPhone 7 has that Apple A10 Fusion chip inside of it with 2 GB of RAM. The iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 GB of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Now that we're back, let me go and clear the apps in the background, and I think they're pretty much already cleared out. So let's go and get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12, again, pretty much noticeably faster already. We can do music, 3, 2, 1. And again, the iPhone 12 seems to be a little bit faster, but it did take a second to get into that specific panel. We can go and load up a web page. Let's go ahead and do something like apple.com, 3, 2, 1. And both did take a minute. I think the iPhone 12 was the faster one there. Not by a crazy amount, but I would still say it was faster overall. Now, I guess I can get into the App Store, 3, 2, 1. And animations and just the app opening speeds seem far better on the iPhone 12 as well. Scrolling through, you can see that the iPhone 12, I think, actually looks noticeably smoother and faster than the iPhone 7. You guys will probably be able to tell that over the camera, and that's something that I was not expecting, so that was very interesting. So that really pretty much covers up those ones. Let me go ahead and hit on these third-party apps that I did. Let's do Facebook, 3, 2, 1. And both of them seem kind of the same right there. Let's do Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 12 is definitely faster than the iPhone 7. It's definitely taking its time right here. And as you can see, the iPhone 12 was way ahead of the iPhone 7. That was definitely something that was very, very interesting. And you can see the iPhone 7 eventually got into it, but for sure the iPhone 12 was faster there. Getting into some gameplay, let's see if there's a difference. And I don't think there's going to be a difference, but I could be totally wrong. And they both seem pretty much the same in terms of gameplay. A little bit more glitching I noticed with the person on the iPhone 7. And other than that, they look pretty much the same. Let's do BOFA. 3, 2, 1. Again, the iPhone 12 is faster. iPhone 7 a bit behind. I don't want to say it's a crazy amount, but that was a pretty big difference right there. Let's do Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 is faster. iPhone 7 shortly behind. Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 is faster. iPhone 7 again shortly behind. Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 is faster. iPhone 7 shortly behind there too. You can use some gameplay. You can see pretty much the same type of thing. It did glitch up a little bit on the iPhone 12 there, which is very weird. I wasn't expecting that. Other than that, though, they seem pretty much the same right there too. Let's do Thank You. 3, 2, 1. And you can see again the iPhone 12 is faster. iPhone 7 definitely behind. It eventually gets into it, but that was a pretty big difference if you ask me. Let's go and kind of scroll through right here, and they both seem kind of the same there too. Stack. 3, 2, 1. And again, faster on the iPhone 12. iPhone 7 shortly behind there. Let's do Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. Now, it's probably going to mess up on both because Fruit Ninja has been having these really weird updates, so I don't even feel like hitting on it. Okay, it's loading here. And eventually we might get into it on the iPhone 7. We did get this little pop-up that I've been through 30,000 times. And I don't understand this. I don't know why there's so many pop-ups, but the iPhone 12 I feel like would have been faster anyway, so that one pretty much covers that. Do Paper IO 2. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 is faster. iPhone 7 shortly behind there. Definitely a pretty big difference there in terms of gameplay. You're probably able to see that the iPhone 12 would have been faster anyway. And I mean, to kind of sum up this video, I mean, that really pretty much answers everything I wanted to hit on. And it pretty much, the iPhone 12 is the faster phone when it comes down to it. But if you have the iPhone 7, I don't think it's a horrible performing phone. And it's really probably tough to see something like an iPhone 7 and, see it compared to the iPhone 12 and, make yourself feel bad like, oh my God, my phone is so old or whatever. But I really don't think that's the case. I think the iPhone 7, if you made it last this long and if it's like your only option, then I think it's okay. RAM management seems like about the same on both, which is very weird. I think the iPhone 7 is still a pretty smooth phone for the most part. And I don't know why the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 7 are restarting the same apps. The iPhone 12 should be better here. And I feel like that's the biggest problem with the iPhone 12 would definitely be in the RAM management. For some reason, it has twice the amount of RAM as the iPhone 7, but they're restarting the same amount of apps. And I don't even have those many apps in the background. Like I have a couple of them, but as you can see, they're both restarting at the same time. I don't really understand that. That really doesn't make any sense to me. So I think RAM management wise, they're probably about the same, but speed and performance wise, the iPhone 12 is probably the winner here. So in terms of performance, that pretty much covers it up. I'll probably do a full one here soon, but let's go and hit on the cameras. Dual camera setup on the iPhone 12, single camera setup on the iPhone 7, a 12 megapixel wide angle lens, a 12 megapixel wide angle lens on the iPhone 12 with the ultra wide sensor, which is really cool. 12 megapixel sensor there too. Now in terms of the UIs on both, you can see that they have not the same features for sure because the iPhone 12 has more features with portrait mode, night mode, 4K at 60 and all that. You can only do 4K at 30 on the back of the iPhone 7's camera, but on top of that, the front-facing cameras are a little bit different. You can only do 1080p on the front camera of the iPhone 7, 1080p at 30, or you can do 4K at 60 on the front camera of the iPhone 12. And that's a really big difference in my opinion. Now, I did already do a camera comparison between these two, but I don't know when I'm uploading that, so it's probably not going to be for a while. But I saw that the iPhone 7's camera is like okay if you're in really good lighting conditions, but once you get to darker conditions and you're just looking at the raw photos, it really doesn't look too good. And now you can always add filters and edit the photo afterwards, but I think the iPhone 12 camera here for sure is the winner by far. Not only do you have a better looking lens in my opinion, you have that ultra wide sensor which is really cool. You have that 4K at 60 on the back camera and 4K at 60 on the front camera as well. And I use the back camera a lot of times, but I use the front camera more in my opinion. And this is a perfect case where I would rather have a better front facing camera than a back camera. And this one is definitely, the iPhone 12 has better both cameras than the iPhone 7. So I don't think the iPhone 7's camera is bad, but definitely compared to the iPhone 12, the iPhone 7's camera is far more dated than the iPhone 12's in my opinion. Now, ending it off with the battery life, I did already do a battery comparison between these two, and again, I don't know when that's uploading, but I saw that the iPhone 12 had a noticeably better battery life than the iPhone 7. The iPhone 12 was able to last several more hours than the iPhone 7 with the screen on time, playing games and videos and watching that stuff. That was definitely a bigger and better difference, I think. The iPhone 12 definitely won there. iPhone 7, I think it died within like 2-3 hours, and the iPhone 12 still didn't die yet. So in terms of everything, and to kind of sum up this whole entire video, should you pick up the iPhone 12? Should you keep your iPhone 7? What I can tell you is that for sure, if you have the money, go for the iPhone 12. If you're currently an owner of an iPhone 7, there's just so much more on the iPhone 12. You're getting a better camera setup, better screen, better build quality, more storage for the base model, unless you have like a 256 gig model of the iPhone 7, better performance. The main weird things is kind of like the iPhone 7 is about the same RAM management as the iPhone 12, even though this one has twice the amount of RAM. I don't know if that's a software issue, but I still think the iPhone 7 is good enough for a lot of people. You're getting a pretty decent build quality. You're getting iOS support, day one updates, same time an iPhone 12 gets an update for the next couple of years. The iPhone 7 is going to get updates too, as long as this one's still supported. Pretty okay camera, pretty okay performance. With it being a 2016 phone, I do understand that, and I give this one the benefit of the doubt a little bit. You're getting better battery life on the iPhone 12, and it's just a better phone overall. But I still think, like I said before, these two phones aren't the only ones available. There are tons of phones in between these. Going from an iPhone 7 to an iPhone 10R, I also think that's a pretty big difference as well. So if you want to pick up an iPhone 10R, I'll also link one down below. But that's also another option that you have, and you can pick up those brand new from Apple for $499 at the Apple Store. The iPhone 11 is also available for sale. You can pick up an iPhone 11 for $599, and I mean that's cheaper than this one at $829, and you're getting a lot of phone in that specific device too. So like I said, these two phones are the only ones available. If you have the money, definitely going to the iPhone 12 is a really good upgrade. Going from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 10 or iPhone 11 are also a really good upgrade as well, and you can save some money if you'd rather pick up those devices. I'll go ahead and leave those linked down below too, like I stated before, but that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly, everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.